Hello everyone, once again I welcome you to your chemistry lab, and today I came with a very interesting demonstration. Which is more reactive, copper or iron? Okay, so let us understand this concept with a very simple demonstration. So today I will show you that which is more reactive, whether copper or iron. Okay, so let me show you what are the things I required for today's demonstration. First of all, I request few iron nails. Okay, so this is the source of iron. As a source of iron I am going to use this. I will use copper sulfate solution, right, as a source of copper, and distilled water if required, beaker, and obviously test tubes. Okay, so let's see what happens if I put iron nails inside the copper sulfate solution. What happens? First let's see, and then I will explain you what happened. Okay, then I'll explain you the chemistry of that reaction. Okay, so the first thing which I'll do is that, as usual, I will keep my camera over here. Okay, now let me show you. This is a copper sulfate solution. Okay, you can see the color of the copper sulfate solution also, blue, and distilled water. Okay, so what I will do is that the first thing I will take copper sulfate solution in a beaker. Okay, I could have taken it in a test tube, but in order to make it clearly visible, I will use this beaker. Okay, so let's take a clean test tube and see here I have poured copper sulfate inside. Okay, so this is your copper sulfate solution. This is a copper sulfate solution. Clear? Now, let's see what happened if I dip this iron nail inside this copper sulfate solution. It may take 2-3 minutes time, but we will see what happens. So watch the video till the end to understand this. Okay, so let me show you this paint color. You can see, because so the later on you can compare the color between the two. So let's start the experiment for today's. Okay, so here I am dipping the pin inside. So you can see here I have already dipped the pin inside. Okay, so I am keeping it here in front of you. Okay, so I think it is visible. So let's keep it like this. Okay, so I am keeping it here. You can see it is visible. Okay, yes. So it will take few minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes it will take, and then I will explain you the chemistry of this reaction. Okay, now what is the meaning of more reactivity? You know, if you are there in class 10 or 9, 10, 11, 12, okay, you have gone through the activity series, metal activity series. Now in the metal activity series we have been taught that the metals which are above in the activity series, they can displace the metal which is below in the activity series. Okay, now let us find out who is active here. Okay, whether copper is more active or iron is more active. Okay, so this is a very simple demonstration. Let's see what happens. Okay, I still see there is, okay, the reaction is already started. Okay, I just want to show you. Okay, oh goodness, see, already the change of color. Can you see, my dear students? Okay, can you see the change in the color? Okay, just compare it with this. Okay, see, just see, compare it with. Okay, so one more minute, I will let it be there. I will allow this pin to be there, that iron nail to be there. Okay, now what happens here, or what is happening here? The more active metal, now which is more active metal? Active metal will try to displace the less reactive metal. Okay. Now in the activity series, you will find that copper is below. Or you can say iron is far above the copper. Okay. So which means iron is more reactive than copper. Okay, iron is more reactive than copper. So the reaction is also going on, and I am explaining you the logic behind the reaction. Okay, so which means iron is more reactive than copper. Now in the activity series, the metals or the elements which are above, okay, they can easily displace the metals which is below them or which are below them. Okay, so here what is happening? You just look at the condition. So I will just take it out once again. Just see the change in the color. I hope it is visible. Okay, see the change in the color. So in order to make you understand, I just would like to bring the original pin and just to give a contrast between these two. Okay, to give a contrast between these two. See, it has turned into brown. Okay, so just fallen now. So it has turned into brown color. Okay. So now why it is happening? Okay, often a question comes, can we store copper sulfate in an iron vessel? Can we store copper sulfate in an iron vessel? So let us find out the answer. The answer is obviously no. We cannot keep copper sulfate in an iron vessel. Why? Why it has happened? Why? The reason behind it is that iron is more reactive. Iron is more reactive than copper, isn't it? So what will iron do? What will iron do? It will displace, it will reduce the other metal and displace the other metal and take its part. Here I have used CuSO4, right? Now in CuSO4, what is the charge on Cu? Cu2 plus, right? Here it is in Fe2 plus form, right? Now what happened when I dip this iron nail inside this CuSO4? Iron is more reactive. It has displaced copper. So here copper got reduced, and that is the result that the copper which is present in the solution, it has started depositing on this iron, and iron is taking part, displacing copper from copper sulfate and taking part, which means in this solution iron is moving on. The iron nail is releasing iron Fe2 plus, understood, and converting copper sulfate into iron sulfate Fe2SO4. On the other hand, the CuSO4 which was present in the solution, okay, it is going and getting reduced and changing into Cu, and that is the result what you can see here. My dear student, just see, look at the color change. Okay, just look at the color change. Now I would like to show you. Okay, just look at the color change. So have a contrast between these two. Okay, so I would like to show you, have a contrast in between these two. See, just see the color change. Why it has happened? Now see, this is all copper. See, this is copper. This deposition is of copper. Okay, so which means Cu2 plus was in the solution. Okay, that Cu2 plus has changed into Cu. This is known as reduction, and that is the result of this. You see the deposition of the copper. You can see the color copper. Okay, understood? So you can compare these two. Okay, this was the original pin which I have dipped inside before the reaction, and just see the color change. Okay. So which is more reactive? We got our answer that iron is more reactive. Why iron is more reactive? Because iron has displaced copper from copper sulfate and What happened? See the result. Iron has displaced copper from copper sulfate and it has changed into iron sulfate and copper got reduced. So there is a deposition of the copper. Okay. So I hope all of you understood this, that which is more reactive. So never keep any copper sulfate, or we cannot keep copper sulfate solution in iron vessel, because iron will displace copper and that copper sulfate will change into iron sulfate. Okay, so that's all for today's. Okay, hope it was informative, senior students. Okay, it is helpful for you, hope. Okay, so thank you for watching the video. Okay, next day I will again come up with some other interesting facts. So thanks for today. Bye bye. Take care.